Do you ever feel like you're surrounded by people, but still completely alone? Like no one really understands you, no one sees what you're going through. And even when you try to explain it, the words just don't come out right? If that's you, don't click away. This message is for you. Loneliness is one of the most silent, invisible battles people fight every single day, and the truth is, many people carry it without anyone ever noticing. You can be surrounded by people, friends, family, coworkers, sitting in a crowded room filled with laughter and noise, smiling on the outside, even posting happy moments online, and yet, deep inside, there's an emptiness that refuses to go away. It lingers quietly, like a shadow that follows you no matter where you go. Because loneliness isn't just about being physically alone. It goes much deeper than that. It's the feeling of being disconnected even when you're present. It's when your voice feels like it doesn't matter, when your thoughts stay trapped inside because you believe no one would truly understand. It's that painful sense of being unseen, unheard, and somehow unimportant, even in spaces where you should feel like you belong. And over time, if you're not careful, loneliness starts to whisper lies to you. It makes you question your worth. It plants seeds of doubt in your mind, telling you that maybe it's your fault. Maybe you're too much, or not enough. Maybe that's why people don't stay. Maybe that's why you feel this way. But listen carefully, those thoughts are not the truth. They are distortions created by isolation. Loneliness has a way of convincing you that you are the problem, when in reality, you are a human being with a deep need for connection, love, and understanding. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes loneliness comes from heartbreak. The kind that doesn't just break your heart but rearranges your entire world. It leaves you replaying memories, questioning what went wrong, and trying to understand how something that once felt so real could suddenly disappear. Sometimes it comes from betrayal, when trust is broken and the people you once leaned on become the very reason you pull away. That kind of loneliness cuts deeper because it teaches you to be careful, to guard your heart, and sometimes to keep your distance even when you don't want to. Sometimes loneliness grows quietly when you begin to outgrow people you once felt deeply connected to. Conversations that used to flow effortlessly start to feel forced. The bond you once shared begins to fade, not because of conflict, but because you're changing, evolving, and stepping into a different version of yourself. And as necessary as growth is, it can feel incredibly isolating when the people who once understood you no longer do. And then there are moments when loneliness comes simply because life changes faster than you can keep up. One season ends, another begins, and you barely have time to process what you've lost before you're expected to move forward. You lose connections that once felt permanent. You lose direction and begin to question where you're even going. You lose the version of yourself you used to recognize, and suddenly, everything around you feels unfamiliar, like you're standing in a place that should feel like home, but doesn't anymore. But here's the truth nobody tells you, the truth that can shift everything if you hold on to it. Feeling alone does not mean you are alone. It only means you are in a moment where connection feels distant, not absent. It means your heart is searching, not that it has been forgotten. There are seasons in life where isolation is not a punishment, even though it may feel heavy and uncomfortable in the moment. It's not a sign that you've been rejected or forgotten. It's often a sign that something deeper is happening within you. These are the quiet seasons, the in-between moments where life pulls you away from the noise, the crowds, and even from certain people, not to harm you, but to prepare you for what's ahead. It becomes a time where distractions are removed, sometimes suddenly and sometimes gradually, until you are left with nothing but your thoughts, your emotions, and your true self. And while that can feel unsettling, it's also powerful. Because in the absence of constant noise and external validation, you begin to rediscover who you really are. Not who people expect you to be, not who you were trying to impress others to become, but the real, unfiltered version of yourself that has been waiting to be seen. It's also a time where voices grow quiet. The opinions, the pressures, the expectations that once influenced your decisions begin to fade into the background. And in that silence, something remarkable happens. You start to hear your own voice clearly. Your desires, your convictions, your purpose begin to rise to the surface. You begin to understand what truly matters to you, what you stand for, and what you are no longer willing to tolerate. So even though it may feel like you're being left behind or left alone, the truth is far more meaningful than that. You are not being abandoned. You are being refined. You are being shaped, strengthened, and prepared in ways that cannot happen in the middle of constant noise and distraction. This season is not here to break you. It's here to build you into someone stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the life you are meant to live. I know it hurts, sometimes in ways that are difficult to explain to anyone else. It's not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, steady, and deeply personal. It shows up in the moments when you're alone with your thoughts, when there's no distraction left to hide behind, and everything you've been holding in begins to surface. I know the silence can feel heavy, like it's pressing down on you, making even simple moments feel overwhelming. And I know how long the nights can feel when your mind refuses to slow down, when every thought, every memory, every what if keeps replaying over and over again, leaving you restless and drained. But even in the middle of all that, there is something important you cannot overlook. You're still here. Through every difficult moment, every unanswered question, every wave of emotion that tried to pull you under, you're still standing. You're still breathing. And that matters more than you may realize right now. Because as long as you're here, it means your story is still unfolding. It means nothing you're feeling right now is the final chapter. There is still purpose woven into your life, even if you can't fully see it yet. There are still moments waiting for you, unexpected joy, genuine laughter, and connections that will feel effortless and real. There are still people you haven't met yet, people who will understand you without you having to over-explain, people who will see you clearly and appreciate you in ways you've been longing for. So don't let this moment convince you that this is all there is. This chapter may feel heavy, uncertain, even painful, but it is not your whole story. It's just a part of it. And what comes next still has the power to surprise you in ways you didn't think were possible. One day this loneliness will make sense, even if right now it feels confusing, unfair, and heavy to carry. One day you'll look back on this season with a different perspective and realize that it wasn't empty time, and it wasn't wasted pain. It was shaping you in quiet, powerful ways. It was building a kind of strength that doesn't come from comfort, but from endurance. The kind of strength that teaches you how to stand on your own, how to understand your own heart, and how to keep going even when things don't feel clear. You may not see it yet, but something is forming within you: resilience, depth, and a deeper awareness of who you are and what you truly need. And when the time comes, when life begins to shift again, you'll carry that strength into new experiences. You will laugh again, not just casually but deeply, like something inside you has been set free. You will connect again, and those connections will feel more genuine, more aligned, because now you understand the value of real presence. You will feel seen again, not because you've changed to fit others, but because you've grown into someone who no longer hides who they are. But for now, in this moment, give yourself permission to slow down. Be gentle with yourself in ways you may not have been before. Speak to yourself with kindness instead of criticism. Allow yourself to rest without guilt, to feel without judgment, and to exist without constantly questioning your worth. You're not behind in life, no matter how it may seem when you compare yourself to others. Your journey is unfolding in its own time, in its own way. You're not forgotten, even if it feels like the world has gone quiet around you. And most importantly, you are definitely not alone in feeling this way. There are countless others who understand this exact emotion, even if your paths have never crossed. And one day those paths will intersect, with people, with purpose, and with moments that remind you just how far you've come. If this message spoke to you, don't ignore it. Like this video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe for more messages that remind you you're not alone. Because sometimes, the words you need most come exactly when you're about to give up.